Today, we will discuss what karmic relationships and karmic knots are, how to break the cycle of karmic relationships, and how to avoid making the same mistakes and falling into the same unpleasant life situations. First, let's understand what the concept of karmic relationships is. Karmic relationships are very strong emotional bonds with a person from a past life. These relationships arise between the souls of people who were closely emotionally connected in past lives. It is important to understand that such relationships are not paradise. Partners carry unresolved problems, obligations, debts, and unlearned lessons from their past lives. The essence of karmic relationships is to complete unlearned life lessons, correct mistakes, and overcome stagnation in personal development. Essentially, karmic relationships are developmental relationships. They are given so that a person learns to understand and accept themselves, see their flaws, admit their imperfections, learn to hear and listen to others, and recognize their potential for growth. Having karmic relationships does not mean that it is bad or good. It is your chance in this current life to correct and improve your karma. Karmic relationships are not destined and do not last a lifetime. They usually last as long as it takes to correct one's karma. Once the karma is worked out, karmic relationships will naturally exhaust themselves and end painlessly. What does the term karmic knot mean? If you do not learn any lessons from karmic relationships, they repeat over and over again. If you completely refuse to accept the wisdom of karmic relationships, each subsequent relationship hits you harder and more persistently, so that you eventually understand. A karmic knot signifies a strong connection between several people whose souls are united from past lives by mutual grievances, unfulfilled obligations, and the burden of negative actions. Such connections can stretch through several incarnations for centuries. When people do not want to change, do not solve problems, but only accumulate grievances, the karmic knot grows and becomes stronger. The presence of such knots creates a strong dependence among people, forcing them to endure each other. This is destined by karma. Examples of karmic knots can be love triangles with wrongful actions in past lives. How to distinguish karmic relationships? Karmic relationships have a number of signs by which they can be recognized. The main signs of a karmic connection can be strong emotional states, fear in the presence of a certain person, unforgiven resentment, uncontrollable anger, strong dependence on another person, jealousy. In this life, a man and a woman, partners, spouses, repeatedly experienced the same emotional states with an old relationship scenario. 5 ways to break karmic knots forever. 1. Admitting your imperfections. Just accept this as a fact. There are no perfect people. Do not be offended by your partner if they point out your flaws. You should listen and accept this as truth. If, for example, your partner tells you that you are messy, nervous, loud, overly dramatic, unnatural, etc., it is most likely true. And you do not need to endlessly try to defend yourself from this information. You do not need to endlessly fight, argue, and prove the opposite. Try to accept this information, feel it, and agree with at least some part of it. Gradually, little by little, as you learn to agree with at least part of the information your partner is trying to convey to you, karma will automatically correct your personality for the better. If you do not agree with your partner's complaints, always trying to be right and not listening to anyone, your spiritual development will slow down or even stop. Therefore, in karmic relationships, you should always try to find the rational grain your partner is trying to convey to you, as they may excel more in this area and act as your teacher, sent to you to pass this life lesson not learned in a past life. Just admit to yourself that your partner has more experience and wisdom in this matter, and then you will achieve stable relationships that will lead to your personal development. Relationships lacking development are doomed to fail. All unlearned lessons will have to be repeated again and again in new relationships, but in new incarnations. 2. Getting rid of self-pity. How to stop feeling sorry for yourself. Of course, this is not easy, but as long as you pity yourself and view reality through self-pity, you will endlessly cry, seek sympathy, pretend to be poor and unfortunate, creating situations where you feel insulted, humiliated, abused, disrespected, cheated on, ignored, neglected, etc. If you always remain in this position, it is unlikely that you will be able to solve life problems and build loving relationships. Loving relationships are built when a person understands that they are a spiritual being with an open heart, ready to face all life challenges, regardless of their nature, able to accept themselves, admit all their imperfections and shortcomings, and work on their development. Therefore, to achieve this, there should be no room for self-pity. Self-pity must be eradicated because as long as you pity yourself, you will not be able to become a full-fledged person and spiritual being. 3. Accepting all relationships with men in your life. Acceptance is a state where, remembering all the men you have ever met on your life path, including your father, you want to hug and hold them close, because you are grateful that they were in your life. When you accept a person, you do not have the desire to fight, argue, seek revenge, hurt, persuade, or win them over. You simply accept them as they are. And you feel that they are filled with inspiring energy, and it makes you feel good. 4. Properly ending relationships. If you have unfinished relationships in your life, you need to end them. You simply need to write a long detailed letter to the man, in which you express gratitude for being with you during an important period of your life, for the love you feel towards him, for the good times despite the difficulties, and for being grateful for the path you walk together. Writing a letter means closing these relationships with warm wishes. If it is not possible to do so, but the relationships need to be ended, you can mentally address this person. Once you finish all relationships, you will release a huge amount of energy that remained inside you as a dead weight, and you will open the path to total realization and development of your personality. 5. Self-improvement. To break the cycle of recurring karmic relationships, you need to constantly improve yourself both during relationships and after they end. This means that during relationships and after they end, you should see yourself as a better version each day, observe your development of both body and soul, and notice your increasing level of happiness. Thank you for exploring yourself and the universe with me. Trust yourself, listen to your heart, and move forward with confidence and calm. Like and share this video with friends if you found it helpful. See you again on my channel, where we will continue to explore the mysteries of spiritual development and growth. Goodbye, and may light and wisdom always accompany you on your journey.